When I pulled into the driveway of my new house in Alabama, I thought I had made it. But within hours, everything started to unravel. The money from the house sale was delayed. I couldn't pay rent. I couldn't get my moving truck delivered. I sat in that empty house for 5 days. No furniture, no bed, no certainty. But it turns out sometimes things have to go completely wrong before God blesses you far more than you ever imagined. Hi, friends, and welcome back to Remember and Hope, where we share real stories of how God shows up in unexpected ways, especially when life doesn't go as planned. If you're new here, I'm so glad you stopped by. This space is all about encouraging one another through testimonies, hope, and faith. Today's story is a follow up to my AC testimony, except this part of the journey got even more difficult before things turned around. I want to share how everything went wrong when I got to Alabama and how God used that breakdown to bring a bigger blessing than I ever imagined. Let's get into it. Okay, so in the last video, I mentioned that the closing was February 14th, right? So after I closed on the house and I was able to leave, I packed up the car, I made sure that everything was ready to go, and then I drove from there all the way up to Alabama. Now, prior to that, to make it easier on my 13-year-old, okay, because you can imagine how difficult it can be to move from such a distance at that age. To make it easier, I actually had my daughter stay um, with her dad. And so she caught a flight to go stay in Chicago with her dad. And so I said, okay, I've got the three dogs, my three Shih Tzus, and are full of stuff to the point where the back seat was, you just couldn't see it. You couldn't see the back. Um, and so I went ahead and I drove to Alabama so that I could meet the landlord of the rental to get the key and open it. So she was waiting for me. She knew I was going to be there. It was like a 5-hour drive or so. And I like drives, quite honestly. I listen to audiobooks and enjoy the journey. That's just me. So basically we get up there and I go inside and it was a beautiful house. I was so happy. And basically after that I went ahead and started unloading the car. After a while I finally got to sit down. And I was just literally sitting on the floor because, mind you, there's no furniture, right? Because the point is that I had one of those moving trucks to take all of my stuff to Alabama. But whenever you use something like that, it takes the way that they had it. They were like, oh, it's about a week, but most likely the date to arrive would be like Tuesday. Yeah, so I left on a Friday and I expected my stuff there on Tuesday. So I was like, oh, just the weekend is going to be fine, that I'm not going to have my stuff. And so when I get there, I get a message from the title agency that I had closed on the house with. It's like my cups. It says, my cup overflows with blessings. Psalms 23:5. Anyways, back to these messages. Um, but yeah, so basically I get there and I get a message from the title company and they're saying we had a little issue with the paperwork. We did something wrong with what was done and we need to correct it so that we can send you the money. Now, mind you, I was expecting this money same day because that's typically how it goes with a closing. You get the money the same day. They wire it to your account and then boom, you got it. So in my head, I expected to have it. And so I had it in my head, I'm going to be able to go ahead and put down the first month's rent as soon as I get there. I'm going to be able to pay the money for the delivery of the moving truck and basically to get food and additional things in the house so that, I could start setting it up and getting it ready as soon as possible because by the time I was done, the hope was that I could then get the ticket for my daughter to come home as soon as it was ready for like the big reveal. I mean, anybody else like really excited about HGTV big reveals? That's me. So I was like super excited to do a big reveal for my daughter so that it was a better transition from one place to another. That she comes into this house that's already set and ready to go. And so that was my plan. That was my hope. That was, isn't that always the case when we have a plan? How God says sometimes, yeah, no. Yeah, I see your plan, but I will raise you another plan. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and break up your plan like horrendously because that's exactly what ended up happening. So all of a sudden, the title agency sends me the form to re-sign. So I re-sign this form. I send it back like immediately because I mean I need to get this money ASAP. This is like the day that I'm supposed to pay this first month's rent, right? And so I went ahead and filled out the form, waited, and I waited, and I waited. And I'm thinking, okay, it's okay. It's okay. If anything, um, maybe it'll come next day. It didn't. Okay. Starting to be concerned because I'm getting emails now from the moving truck saying it's time to pay your dues so that we can deliver the truck. Can't deliver the truck until you make that payment. And so I said, okay, um, hmm, this is not going exactly but it's okay. It's it's just, day after. Maybe it's gonna come that day. And I'm emailing the title company and I'm wondering what's going on. And they actually responded. They said, "Oh, well, because it's the weekend and we weren't able to get the form before closing on Friday, then we have to wait until after the weekend when the office opens up again." Well, guess what? Not only was the office closing an issue, but Monday was also a holiday. So that was an additional day. So I left on the 14th. Let's reiterate. We left on the 14th. Didn't get anything. The 18th. I finally got the money that was promised. But as soon as I got it, of course, I called the moving truck and um, I tried to communicate with them to please, um, I just got the money. I need to, get this going. And they're like, we're so sorry. We needed to get the money to be able to send it, but because, we hadn't heard back in time, the schedule for delivery this week is now full. So most likely we wouldn't be able to deliver it until next week. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is ridiculous. I've I've been waiting so long. So guess who I called? The title company. And I said, yeah, uh, because of this error, that you guys did. Um, I wasn't able to pay for my moving truck to come on time. I wasn't able to pay my first month's rent on time. And mind you, I just moved in. What kind of like impression does that give my landlord if I can't even make my first month's payment on time? Thankfully, mind you, side note, they were really nice about it. And they were really understanding. They understood the situation. And I explained to them what was happening and they were fine with it. But I had to put like a deposit. And so basically, they were very apologetic, the title company, very apologetic. "Oh, we're so sorry about this, blah, blah, blah. Um, give us the number uh, and your information for the moving truck," they said. And I'm like, okay. And so they're like, we'll go ahead and we'll call them and see what we can do. And I was like, all right. And also, in addition to that, as an apology, um, we're just going to waive the fee that was required to use our services for the closing, which was $700. Okay, so I got $700 back. Praise the Lord. So they called the moving truck, and come to find out, they went ahead and they paid the fee for the moving truck to be delivered. Okay, now I want to share with you what that means. $3,000 they paid for my move. They paid for my title service. Isn't that just like amazing? I'm like, oh my goodness. And then I said, okay, Lord, you did this. You can do the moving truck. And I give it to you. I just, whatever you think is best. Your timing is perfect. So I really would like the truck sooner than next week because I really want my daughter back. And I need the things in the house because mind you, it was like already quite a while of no furniture in the home. Me on an air mattress all that time and one camping chair and one bar stool. So it was quite a challenge. But I called the moving company and I said, "Listen, um, is there anything that you can do to get the moving truck sooner? Because I can't I can't get my daughter back home until this house is done. And the longer I have to wait for the moving truck, the longer she has to be away. And I don't want to delay this any longer if it is possible for the moving truck to come sooner." And she said, "Well, let me see what I can do." And so the afternoon of the 18th, I got a call back um, from the moving company, and they said that they had a volunteer driver that was willing to drop off the truck before opening hours of their company so that I could get the truck in time the next day. I literally burst into tears. That did it. He did it. He did it. It was like everything had to go wrong in order for me to be blessed or better than I ever imagined. My move of $3,000 was paid. I got the money back from the title agency of $700. And even though the truck was not delivered the time I was hoping. They made the effort to come sooner than planned. If you're in a season right now where everything feels like it's falling apart, I want to remind you sometimes God allows things to go completely wrong so he can do something far greater than you imagined. Don't lose hope. He's working, even in the waiting, even in the silence. Thank you for spending this time with me today. If this story encouraged you, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to be reminded that God is still faithful. And be sure to stay tuned for my upcoming interview with Gerren Sprauve, public speaker, life coach, and business owner who stepped forward to share how God showed up in his life in a powerful and personal way. His story is honest, inspiring, and full of hope. You won't want to miss it. Until next time, keep remembering and keep hoping. God bless.